accidentally spilt my first potion and now they've become zebras.
You think that's bad? I once accidentally turned the entire USC marching band into garter snakes.
I need a clamshell orchid for the turnback potion.
All right, don't panic. This is not a problem. Clamshell orchid. What's it shaped like? Oh, of course. Tootie used to live around here. He can help us.
And he is...
a 2-million-year-old fossil that Zelda found, brought to life, and evolved so he can speak.
Okay, I can't remember what it feels like to be astonished.
All right, let's go.
Ladies, gentlemen, Ralph, welcome to episode number 47 of Sabrina's Witch Trials. I'm Alex Araujo, and of course this is the show where each episode we venture back into the mid-1990s to rewatch, review, and reminisce all about everyone's favorite Friday night spellfest, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Boy almighty, we're back with a vengeance. I've come to kill many people because of... No, I'm going to keep it going. One track mind. Vengeance. That's what it is. We're back. We went on quite the hiatus because of, the world imploding. But the slightest bit of good news brought us out. And the slightest bit of good news is it's the holiday season. No, we are going to try to get episodes out regularly again. Things got complicated in 2020, which might surprise some of you. Where have you been? I don't know. Anyway, here to talk about this episode with me, episode 47, Disney World, is the one and only Cris Araujo, Cris from CrisConquers.com, on Twitter at Cris Conquers, Cris Conquers on Instagram, Media Maven, we all know her. Cris, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to have you back, Cris.
It feels like it's been a very long time since we've done this.
It's been a little while, sure. Things got in the way.
I was kind of shocked by the episode that you're up to. So I was like, whoa, when did we get up to this?
Yes. Bit of a weird episode, but we'll get into that. But yeah, did you know that stuff was happening in 2020? Like crazy shit?
I mean, I don't leave my house anymore, so I don't really know what's happening out there.
But that's by choice. You don't even notice anything's going on. It's like,
what things are happening.
What's this? All this Colvin stuff I keep hearing?
I know.
Are we talking about
COVID?
Talking about Sean Colvin, the singer of Sonny Came Home? Was something we were listening to right before this episode started?
Yeah, because Al's a very strange creature.
Just in general. Accurate, I mean.
Yeah.
Got me.
Yeah, lots of things happening. I mean, you'd think it's ideally the perfect time to be recording.
Yeah.
Because no one is doing anything.
No, but life stuff gets in the way. It has a way of doing that.
And also, it's okay to not want to do the normal things because there's a lot of shit happening and it's a lot more than humans are typically able to process at once. So it's okay.
Most of the time in human history, there hasn't been a disease that's been killing 1,500 people in the U.S. a day.
I mean, it's that, and then the combination of also, everything happening with our government.
Yeah.
And also, we are able to access so much information at once about all the things happening, not only in our country, but around the world, which then just makes it, overwhelming. You have all this news all the time. So yeah, it's okay to not do the things that you think you should be doing.
We're actually changing formats, folks. We're now
self-help.
Just a political chat podcast and self-help podcast.
It's okay to feel your feelings.
We're going to be talking about healing crystals in the upcoming segment.
Manifestation.
Calcitite. That's a thing, isn't it, Cris?
Calcite.
There we go. Anywho, getting away from crystals as quickly as possible lest we get a lecture. Yes, I just hope you're all being safe, and please, to God, wear a mask, because I don't care what you think. It's going to save people's lives. It's going to save your family's lives, and it's going to minimize
and even if it
the amount
doesn't,
of death.
Even if it doesn't save a life, it's literally the smallest thing you could possibly do to ensure that you're not putting anyone else at risk.
Yeah. And it's pretty easy.
But yeah, I mean...
Go to Old Navy. Their masks are pretty good.
Yeah, 5 packs, $12.
There you go. Cris, this episode, as you mentioned, bit of an odd one. Bit of an obvious shill for the Disney overlord here. But episode 47, Disney World, first aired on April 24th, 1998. Way back then. Written by David Lesser. This is maybe a lesser episode, you might say.
Wow.
Thank you. And I was trying to look at like number one songs and everything. I was like, none of them were any good. So instead, they were not. I think we might have used it already on the previous episode. But do you want to know some celebrities that were born on April 24th?
Of 1988?
No,
1998?
Whose birthday is April 24th?
Sure.
Well, I can tell you a couple of very successful singers. Miss Kelly Clarkson. Ever heard of her?
Yeah.
Good. Barbara Streisand.
Wow.
Ever heard of her?
Yeah. You literally played a song by her. Like,
no, I played a song by Bette Midler. There's a difference.
I'm sorry.
You're just confusing your Jewish
all of them.
good singers. Cedric the Entertainer. You're a big Cedric fan? You were a big fan of the Steve Harvey show when that was on?
I was indeed.
And Joe Keery, who I believe is from Stranger Things. The guy with the long hair.
Yeah, you have to show me a picture, or I don't know any of those people's names except for.
Yeah, looking at the younger actors, I'm like, I don't know any of these people. Who's Casper Lee? YouTube star. Great. Oh, even better, Eddie. Okay. I'm going to assume that they're using this person's like TikTok handle because it's written as TikTok star, but this girl's name is AAAYYYAAAA underscore. Aya underscore.
Okay.
13. She's 13 years old and her birthday is April 24th. So many big celebrities in our world.
Good for her. Good for her. Get it.
Yes.
Get it.
Get those Bang energy drink endorsements.
Oh, I just meant, get your success while you can.
True. Cris, as you know, on this show, I ask my guests to describe the episode that we watched in a set number of words. I can see your face. You've totally forgotten again.
Every time. It wouldn't be an episode where I'm here if I didn't forget.
I really sucker you in each time. Let's go with 12 words. Dozen words to describe this episode. I'm giving you a lot of leeway here. You can fit in Disney World or Animal Kingdom somehow.
Okay.
Shoot.
I think I have it.
Go ahead.
Right. Sabrina and crew go to Disney World, and Sabrina takes a test.
Yes. That all works.
Or an exam.
An exam. Ooh, fancy. A quiz.
An examination.
Totally accurate, Cris. Something you might be interested in knowing is this was obviously designed to co-align with the opening of Animal Kingdom. It opened this year. It was a brand new theme park in 1998. It opened. In fact, ABC was also running like the magic of Animal Kingdom special on like Sunday night after this aired.
Sunday, Drew Carey hosts the opening of Disney's Animal Kingdom with Jane Seymour, the Maury Kids, Danielle Fishel, and Wilfred L. With musical performances by Lebo M and Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Disney's Animal Kingdom, the first adventure. ABC Sunday at 7, 6 Central.
There was also a super special Sabrina contest to win a trip to Animal Kingdom. And we will see at the end of this episode if you are able to complete the one part of the contest I know was apart from watching various Sabrina commercials from the time.
Okay. I'm like, I probably did them while watching this episode.
Maybe. Remember the Drew Carey show used to do those all the time where it was
like spot things. Yep.
What's wrong?
They used to do episodes where you had to like have a running count throughout the episode, and then like at the end they would show you like how many it was. I loved those episodes. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, they were fun. I always like watching them in reruns. It's like, this is my time. I can make double sure. But this episode, as I said, opens, this episode revolves around Disney, as you might guess, but it opens with Sabrina finding out where her next quiz will be coming from, as the quizmaster in Westbridge tells her that while he can't tell her what her quiz will be, he can tell her where it will be, leading to him zapping Mr. Kraft into just randomly announcing that the school will be taking a class trip to Florida and then zapping Sabrina into saying that they're going to Disney World. That's right, we're going to Synergy. I mean, Disney World.
Class trip to Florida.
We're going to Disney World!
It's so sudden and just like the most non-transitioned transition.
This is the obvious, hey guys, we got a note from ABC. Our owners want us to promote this thing. Let's go.
We haven't really thought about how we're going to work this into the episode. So, like, someone's just going to zap someone, and it's going to happen.
It's funny because I feel like they're so proud of the way they explain it away.
He
Later
zapped
on,
it. It's an exam.
We'll we'll talk about it later on.
Obviously, tropical.
We then see Sabrina and her friends arriving at Disney's Animal Kingdom, newly opened, by the way. You can book your stay as quickly as possible. And we get a large part of the story being that Valerie is so interested in being as cool as possible again, as she looks on as Libby and her bitchy friends all no-sell the idea of being at the greatest place in the world, that being a Disney resort.
Why is it that cool people never show any emotion? I mean, no matter how great the situation, they never seem like they have fun. I know. Why can't I be like them?
Literally, how could you not be excited?
They should be shitting themselves with excitement. The animals, then they should be blaming that shit on the animals. Like an impala made that dung heap over there, not me.
It's funny to me because I feel like Sabrina is typically very underwhelmed and not excited about certain things.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes she is like, oh, Violent Femmes concert, ooh. But
10,000 Maniacs, woo.
Yeah, like there are certain things that she gets excited about. But typically she's like, is not excited about class trips, does not want to be
That's true.
like in organized situations.
To be fair, the last class trip she was on, she was accused of being a witch.
True. But she also didn't want to be there. Like,
That is true.
I mean, I get, you're a witch, so maybe being in Salem is not the most comfortable place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's generally underwhelmed by things that make other people excited. So I was kind of like, this is a weird situation for her to be super excited about going on rides.
I'd say she was like medium excited, as where Val was just like pissing herself at everything.
But even then, she's like medium excited and like ragging on
Still
Libby and crew for not being excited.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at them. Like, they're too cool to be excited.
There's
like, look at you. You're not cool and you're not excited.
There is a distinct I am pro this because Libby is anti this streak in this episode.
Yeah. And kind of always.
Yes. Also. And from Libby's side also. But we then find out that Val and Sabrina will be sharing a room together, and Valerie immediately messes up the whole cool thing by jumping on and freakishly kissing Mr. Kraft.
Oh my God. So wrong.
Martin Mull didn't want any of it.
Don't do that.
Later in their room, Sabrina and Val are talking about teen shit, as I've written here, as they get some room service from the quizmaster, and Sabrina quickly sends Val away so she can be left alone to enjoy her room service licorice, apparently.
Black licorice.
We'll talk about that.
No one eats that.
The cruelest joke Quizmaster has ever played.
Unless you're using it as like garnish on a gingerbread house that you need to be black, there's literally no reason.
I don't want a candy that tastes like a vegetable.
It's just like is it anise or anise?
No,
it's like a very anisey flavor.
What I think of is that bulby one. What is it called? Fennel. It tastes like fennel. I mean, fennel really tastes like licorice, but it's the same goddamn thing. I don't want a gummy candy that tastes like a weird root vegetable. No thanks.
Licorice!
Okay. I only like red.
Who said it's for you?
Anyway, Sabrina sends Val to the park to enjoy it on her own, and once Val's gone, Quizmaster gives Sabrina her quiz for the episode. That being that she has to turn herself into an animal and then out of an animal through the use of potions.
Just in case you're lost in an unknown land, your finger is broken, and you need to become an animal in order to survive.
And how many witches has this happened to before?
One, and Slow Bob has never been the same since.
It's a very specific scenario. Like, even the writers know that, like, this would never be a situation. Like, they even laugh about it where they're like, yeah, but it happened to one person, so we need to do it.
Was Joe or Slow Bob?
Yeah, it was Slow something.
Yeah, they didn't really pitch a lot on that. Slow Bob, great idea, David. Anyway, Sabrina then realizes that all of the potions require the use of tropical plants, explaining Florida. Sure. And she sets off to pick up the plants she needs, but in turn has to blow off hanging out with Val as she gives her some BS about needing to complete a science project.
See, I suddenly realized that I forgot to do a report on plants for science. But I'm in that class, we don't have a report. Did I say plants for science? I meant government. Well, I'll just do a little foraging and catch up with you later, okay? See ya. I'm in that class too!
Yes, so Cris, when we talk about them being real proud of covering up the obvious shilling for Disney, it's like, oh, tropical plants, which explains Florida. Don't get mad at us.
Right, of course.
This episode makes perfect sense.
But it's like, okay, explains Florida, does not explain Disney World at all.
No?
Like,
what are they going to do, Cris? Go stay in the Panhandle somewhere?
well, obviously, because they have plants from all over the world in this one place,
That's right.
because it's, I don't even remember what the fucking place is called.
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom, which makes no sense.
You'll never win that
it's
trip
Animal
now.
Kingdom. Because they have all these plants in Animal Kingdom, like, that's the one place that they have them in Florida. It's just...
Such good writing, I agree. I just love how proud they are to hit it on the head of like, oh, plants. Yep.
Mostly plants. Tropical plants, which would explain Florida.
Exactly.
Couldn't have gone to Cuba. They should have gone to Cuba.
Let's just also incorporate, like, every different attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say Space Mountain like 50,000 times.
Cris, going back to the beginning of the episode when Quizmaster accosts her in Westbridge, did you like how he was selling that shitty candy, that shitty chocolate bar?
First of all, I have in my notes that chocolate bar was the best.
It was
fucking awesome. You have to get the almond one. The
Yes.
almond one was the bomb. Apparently they have a ton of different flavors, but
Sure.
I think most like drives typically only did like
Milk
the
chocolate.
regular and the milk chocolate and then milk chocolate with almonds.
that terrible like band candy that we all know, those weird silver sticks.
It was so good.
Chris,
I fucking loved that shit back in the
I
day.
think what you're remembering is like the thrill of getting to buy candy.
No, it was just there was something about it. It was just good, and I liked that you like could break off pieces.
That was nice, but Hershey's figured that out years ago.
But it was better than Hershey's chocolate.
I disagree.
I think it was way better than Hershey's chocolate.
I gotta be clear. I think Hershey's chocolate is dog shit, and I'd rather eat Hershey's chocolate than this. Like, it's just the blandest, saddest candy. Like, no wonder adults now hate charity. It's because this is what they were taught charity was, and it's like, I don't want that candy anymore.
This was, first of all, these chocolate bars were way better than the like chocolate sales that we had to do.
Oh, those stupid
which we had like a whole magazine of things, which half of it was like poles for your lamp.
That's right.
But we literally
For
have
the overhead light. Yes, there's one right
or
here.
like plates or like platters and stuff, like
Yeah.
random like home things where you were just like, why?
Or just like tubs of like nuts or like peanut butter cups.
popcorn, peanut butter cups, turtles.
Yep. I always loved the day.
And our prizes were so shit.
Yes, they were. I always loved the day when the people would come and do the show in the auditorium.
Yeah.
To like be like, kids, are you hyped about
Oh my
selling
God.
chocolate? You can win this gumball machine
Yeah.
or this inflatable couch.
Always the gumball machine.
Always.
And it was like you had to sell like $500
You
worth
would
of
have
stuff.
bankrupted your family to get a fucking gumball machine.
Like we would still sell like, maybe $100 and something worth of things. And
Yeah.
it would still be like
I got this frisbee and this it was like little basketball
snap
hoop.
bracelet.
Yeah, that sticks on the back of the door.
Yeah, it was like nothing.
This discount Play-Doh.
If your school did that as well, like message us or
and tell us what crappy prize you got.
Because that really genuinely makes me wonder if like other schools, I don't know if other schools in New York did the same thing that we did. Because like our closest family friends, they went to a Catholic school that had this chocolate for their fundraising.
Mhm.
And I always thought that those chocolate bars were way better
Hate
than
them.
I love them. So we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this.
I don't agree to that.
Too bad.
Um,
You're wrong.
I do like that they're bringing back the whole story of Val is obsessed with being cool. Because
Yeah, I mean that's It's like a central character
It is.
trait.
But I like how like she at least has a character trait, as where Jenny never really kind of did. She was just kind of like the left out one.
Jenny was a feminist against the patriarchy, trying to socialize.
Are you just remembering that one episode where it's like a soap opera where she's crawling through the air ducts?
No, I think Jenny, in general, when she ran her election, I think she was very forward thinking in terms of like, not just thinking about the, things that kids care about, like pizza, and, actually caring about making a difference. She was always against the popular kids and like didn't see the point of it, frankly.
Yeah.
You remember in that season, Sabrina was much more interested in being popular and being seen as cool, whereas Jenny just didn't give a shit. She was kind of like, well, why? Like, who cares?
That's true. That's true. She was proud of her weirdness.
Which is
until she got a haircut.
Interesting because then, you kind of flip those traits when Valerie comes in, and Valerie's like Sabrina on the next level. Yeah. Like super obsessive because she is a new kid.
Yes. And I always like that because I think it showed Sabrina's relative progress.
Which is also interesting because Sabrina was the new kid at first. Mm-hmm. So that could speak to why she was so interested in fitting in.
Can't get to Dreama fast enough.
Dreama's gonna really want to be popular.
Oh, yeah. We already talked about the black licorice, but I just think it's really funny that Quizmaster does bring a black licorice, because it's like, I'm sure they pitched for 5 minutes, 20 minutes about what was going to be under that. It could have been anything, and for it to be black licorice is saddening. I think they should have done two things that were weird together. I
think it being black licorice feeds into a lot of the way that they build out his character, in that like he just likes really like random shit that no one else would like. Like he's that person who likes the thing that no one else likes. So black licorice is kind of perfect in that respect. Like obviously the perspective on like his clothing choices is different now.
You get some cruel jokes
They're
about himself.
They're always making
here.
fun of his style. And as like him liking really bizarre things. And so,
he's so zany.
It kind of fits into like, oh, that's such a like bizarre thing that no one else would think.
Should have done Chardonnay and snow caps.
Sounds delicious.
Honestly, Chris, I think I figured out your Christmas gift.
Make it a red wine.
Yeah, Chardonnay's red, isn't it? No, Chardonnay is white. You're right.
I found out today that Hallmark Channel makes wines. Hallmark Channel makes a red and a white wine that are meant to be consumed while watching their movies.
Oh, yeah.
One is called Jingle, and I'm trying to remember the other one.
Jangle.
It's also something Christmas themed.
Jingle and Holly.
You want to guess?
Jolly? Maybe it's Jolly.
Joy.
Ugh, terrible. Joy
is the white wine.
It would be. Joy is such a white woman name.
And get me some Jingle. Get me some snow caps. I love snow caps. I know people like talk a lot of shit about non-pros.
I'd rather have that than that fucking band candy.
You're such an asshole.
Saying Jingle and snow caps sounds like you're just talking about drugs from Riverdale.
Oh, it does. It does.
Fucking
next season.
Jingle jangle. Get out of here.
Next season. Snow caps.
Into my veins.
It's like a patch that you put like... Yep. Snow caps.
Makes your skin look really pale like snow.
No, it gives it dots like the snow caps.
Hello, I'm the executive producer for Riverdale.
I would like to buy your idea.
Val then spends most of the day with Harvey. They talk about the Tree of Life and how one of them looks like Ed Asner. That is until Libby decides to put her villainous plan into effect, even though despite the fact that Sabrina and Harvey have been pretty much broken up this whole season, she's only realizing this at episode 23. Anyway, she's going to try and steal Harvey away. And she tells her friends that she's going to do it, and they all go for it.
Yeah, you should totally do that.
I'll just hang around awkward little Valerie and work my magic on Harvey. Go for it.
right before she can put her plan into effect, Hilda overhears this whole conversation and just magically zaps Harvey away in front of Libby's eyes. And so in order to get to Harvey, Libby decides to spend the day with Val, as they were supposed to hang out, Val and Harvey were. And so she just expects him to be there whenever Val goes anywhere. So she just goes places with Val.
Are you sure you don't know where Harvey is? Trust me, I'd rather be wherever he is than standing here uncomfortably waiting for him. Hey, maybe he went to the riverboat ride. That's what we plan to do next. Well, great, I'll come with you. But I'll be there. That's okay. We can all share a seat. Really?
Meanwhile, Sabrina is looking for the plants that she needs, and every time she looks for a plant, she is accosted by Mr. Kraft, who seems to be using his field trip in Florida as an excuse to patrol the Animal Kingdom planters. As whenever she finds a plant, she immediately gets caught and has to give him one of her patented excellent excuses.
Miss Spellman, do you mind telling me what you are doing trespassing on park property?
Looking for the ice machine?
Some of the times that he catches her, he seems very sinister. Like,
he wants to book her for something.
yeah, but like, he jumps out from behind a bush. Like, it's, first of all, like, that is, if I were this girl's parents, I would be very concerned that the principal is this obsessed with her.
It's also like, it looks like it's pretty much the same bush. So just
Yeah,
stop
it's
going
just
to that
they're all
one
in the
bush,
same
Sabrina.
Like, is Animal Kingdom that small where you have like
it's,
one
it's
bush?
40 square feet.
He just shot them back to back.
Yeah.
Okay, now jump from this side. Now we're going to have an ice bucket.
Oh my god, that ice bucket. Sabrina then comes across Libby and Val having a great time and is confused as it's that bitch Libby. But Val eventually explains that her and Libby have been having a great time today and that they're becoming quite close.
Why are you hanging out with her? She wanted to hang out with me. No, seriously, why? Because she wanted to. Wow, you are serious.
Val begins to suspect that Sabrina is simply jealous that the cool people finally want to hang out with her. This leads to an argument in their room as Sabrina leaves to go finish her secret project. Val just spots some fresh brewed tea that Sabrina has made.
So she steals it.
Yeah, fuck that girl. She doesn't think I'm cool. I'm cool enough to steal
I'm
her
gonna
tea.
drink all her fucking tea.
I'm going to drink all her weird tea she made in a coffee maker.
Ooh, I think it's herbal.
Ooh, fresh brewed tea. I bet Libby would love some iced tea.
That confused me so much as a kid. That like
You thought it was herbal tea?
no, I didn't know what it was. 'Cause I'm like, that's a coffee maker, but why is she saying tea? Like,
Oh, well, because it's just the...
no, I know she just put it in the filter or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's like, one, very clever by Sabrina to make the tea that way.
I don't know that that's how she made it. I think she just put it in the actual... Carafe. Like,
I don't know. I imagine she put like the little
and then
Tree-
hit the button
little tree
and
bits
brewed
in
it.
there. Yeah,
I don't know that she
Mr.
did
Coffee.
Because, you know, when you're in the wild, but your finger's broken, but you can still push to Mr. Coffee.
But you got a 5-cup Mr. Coffee maker, which you won on Family Feud or whatever. Anyway, I don't know. She didn't actually win on the Family Feud, so that's what they gave her instead. So yes, she spots the tea. She takes the tea, and Salem, who stowed away, but we'll talk about more about Salem in a little while. He just murmurs to himself, "Not good," which he is correct. When we next see Val,
It's not good tea.
made in a coffee maker. No, thank you.
It kind of tastes like old coffee.
Yeah, old hotel coffee. Yuck. When we next see Val, she's offering Libby some tea, only to have it spill on her when she pops the little, like, suction top thing open. And right before Libby just gives her a talking to about how big a pain in the ass she is, they both get turned into zebras and walk away as Mr. Kraft soon enters the shot, finding the water bottle, which just coincidentally happens to have Sabrina's name on it. And he says that
Property of Sabrina Spellman.
that's how I protect my water bottle
With her classic black label maker.
that Chris loves.
I have one.
I also liked how she felt the need to label this $2 water bottle.
It was like the crappiest fucking water bottle. But
Like-
I guess back in the day, like if you think about water bottles, like that's pretty much what existed.
Yeah, but still, they would have cost you like $1, and you could have gotten one at like your car wash
You
or something.
probably won one through your chocolate sale.
When you sold $40,000
You sold
worth,
$100 worth of chocolate and got that water bottle.
and you treasured it the rest of your life, like Sabrina did. So he finds the water bottle. He says that, oh, Sabrina's name is on this. It's all starting to make sense before he rationally recognizes that none of this makes any goddamn sense at all.
Property of Sabrina Spellman. I knew it. This weird trip, that ice machine, and those zebras. I have a sick headache.
Cris, I really do love that Libby talks to her discount friends because they are just the worst.
They're not her actual normal friends. It's just a group of
Cece
random girls.
And Jen? Jill and Cece. They're not Jill and Cece. It's not the second Cece when they were just like, we just need a black girl. We can just call this one Cece.
You know,
that's fine.
Doesn't matter.
It is wonderful to see them half act because they are definitely all either people who are friends with people who work on the show or people who were actually at this theme park and who they just ask to sit down and go for it. Like, do it. Get them. And it's like, my God, you guys all on Xanax? What the fuck? Wake up.
They're too cool to care.
She's going after Harvey. This is a big deal for her.
What are they supposed to do, Al?
Yes, queen. Get that man. You're looking great in your...
Supposed to start twerking. Like,
twerk, 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 twerk. We're supposed to start singing wop, wop, wop. At the very least, like, compliment her excellent, like, powder purple overalls and, like, flower shirt. Cris, what the fuck was Libby wearing in this episode?
I don't know. I mean, I kept thinking that, like, they're dressed the way I would have dressed as a kid. But I guess that, like, I dressed that way as a kid because they were wearing that stuff.
Yes.
But it just feels very childish.
As a kid. I mean,
it doesn't feel very Libby.
That's true, but it also doesn't feel very, like, seductress Libby either.
Have you ever just, like, popped one of those little buttons on your overall and then it's like, pow! What's holding it up?
I only do it with the buttons in the back.
Okay.
I pop one of those open.
What buttons in the back?
Because I have to poo real quickly.
That's not... I don't think you know what overalls are.
I work on a ranch in the 30s. I just have those flaps. I have one of those, like, bodysuits with a flap in the back.
It's not dungaroos. What is it?
Dungarees?
Coveralls?
Yeah, whatever.
What the fuck is it called?
I'm making a joke about being an old man. Cris, I literally wrote that this is not what a evil manipulator seductress Libby wears. This seems like a 9-year-old on a summer afternoon at the museum with her grandma.
Accurate.
Thank you. Yep.
Or, you know, probably like 7-year-old Cris walking through a field in Portugal. I think with
her grandma,
we have pictures of us, like we went to go get the sheep. Mm-hmm. And we have pictures, and I'm pretty sure I'm wearing overall shorts like that.
It also reminded me just now of, do you remember the episode of The Simpsons where they go to, like, that beach house that's Flanders? And Sabrina purposely leaves all her clothes because she wants, like, a new identity. And when they go shopping for clothing, Lisa has, like, that cool outfit. And then Marge is like, you should get this one. It's like a set of overalls and the starfish on the back. Yeah. Like, that's what I expected with this. I could have lived to turn around and there'd be a starfish there.
Yep.
She looks like she's fucking 5.
That's just her cool Florida persona.
Yes.
Sick. She's beachy.
Beachy 6-year-old.
I don't even buy what I'm saying.
Cris, did you like all of the excuses that Sabrina has for Mr. Kraft about being in the planters?
The first one was looking for the ice machine. Yeah. Then it was not
Found
enough
the
bathrooms.
Yes, that's my favorite one because it's like, are we to believe that Sabrina just pissed in that?
Yeah, that's probably the best. That's probably the best one. Yep. It's like, it's just, you know, plants. Like, she just went and peed right there.
Sabrina, I have had just about enough of these shenanigans now.
You'd think they'd have more bathrooms around here.
See, Libby came prepared with her overalls.
Yeah, just like, pop that open, drop it down. Actually, it's harder because, like, I mean, technically she still has a shirt on.
Yeah.
But, like, you're more likely to pee on, like, the straps to your overalls or something.
Yeah.
You know? You gotta think about these things. Logistics.
Libby is fucked.
Can we talk about the fact that Valerie looks like Sporty Spice?
Valerie looks great in this episode. I love it.
She looks like Sporty Spice going to the prom. because her hair is like in an updo, like an elaborate updo with like little like plastic flower clips.
I always like how Valerie kind of tends to look better than Sabrina.
You say that all the time.
I think she does.
I think her outfit was trendier than Sabrina's.
I mean, Sabrina was just wearing like a white top and like checkered pants.
She's wearing checkered pants and a white striped top. I mean, it looked good on her, don't get me wrong. I think that like Valerie's is much more out there. Like it's much more of a like trend. Like that was what was fashionable. And like it's more memorable. But maybe that's kind of the point, is that like
Sabrina's
Valerie tries harder to be trendy and like fit in with like the cool crowd.
You are good at subtext.
Maybe. I'm probably just making all this shit up.
Are you telling me they didn't plan for that possibility, Chris? I do think she looks great here. I think Lindsay Swan looks great. But this is just another case, I know you're a big fan of this, of Sabrina being an actively terrible friend. Maybe the worst case of her doing it.
I think it's hard, right? Because if you're looking at it from Sabrina's perspective, it's not that she doesn't want to spend time with her friends. It's that she has this witch's exam, which she has to complete, or she's not going to get her witch's license.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's, you know, it's a big part of her future. So it's not that she doesn't want to spend time with her friends. I think the problem is that the show doesn't really make any effort to capture the fact that, like, she actually wants to be spending time with her friends. Like, it's not like there's like you see any sort of struggle where she like sees them having fun and she like wants to get involved and starts walking with them and then is like, oh shit, no. I see, you know, my quizmaster like in the corner, like, shit, I need to go and get this finished, you know? It doesn't have that struggle. So it comes off as like Sabrina legit could not give a shit about like what's going on with her friends. She's just like focused on herself and getting that done. But I feel like Sabrina didn't, like, although she's in a lot of the scenes, it doesn't feel like she has much of a story.
I feel like this episode doesn't have much of a story, but I was referring more to the fact that like Sabrina is instantly like, what are you doing with Libby? Get away from her. She's clearly using you. And it's like, there's no evidence of that. Like, she actually is. We know she is, but there's literally no evidence to point to Sabrina towards there. And at the same time, Val is hanging out with the one person she can, because Harvey's disappeared and you're not hanging out with her.
True.
And yet you're guilting her into being around Libby.
Does she know that
Into not being around Libby.
Does she know that Harvey's disappeared?
Well, they're looking for Harvey.
Hi. So, where's Libby?
In the lobby.
You two think you're gonna be hanging out the rest of the day?
Probably. Is that so strange?
A little. I think she's up to something.
Oh, and I guess she couldn't be hanging out with me on the off chance that she likes me. I mean, no way I could ever be popular.
So now you're seeing my point.
Okay, I think that that doesn't like make me as outraged as it makes you.
Mm-hmm. I'm furious.
And I think part of that is because we've seen Sabrina tangle with Libby on many different occasions in similar scenarios where Libby tries to like manipulate people to get what she wants. And I just think that she naturally has a distrust of Libby's intentions. Libby has consistently put Valerie down and, you know, called her a freak, and like any attempt that she's made to be more popular, she's basically made fun of. So it is very much out of like nowhere that, you know, she wants to be friends with her. And so I think it's normal to have distrust in that. I think also potentially the fact, you know, there is jealousy because she isn't able to spend that time with her friend. She sees her sworn enemy spending time with her best friend, and, you know, Valerie completely thinking that like Libby's such a cool person, like she's really great, look, we're becoming like really good friends, like I think she thinks I'm really cool. I feel like I sounded a little bit like
Sporty Spice.
No, like oh no, I can't remember her name, the character from Schitt's Creek.
I wouldn't know. I only watch good shows. No,
it's
people
really
do
good.
love Schitt's Creek.
It's so good, you should watch it. Yeah, I think she just has that distrust and then also has that like level of jealousy, which she does explain, but I think I explained it better.
I think the most brutal element of this that really like triggered me, not triggered me, but was like, holy shit, Sabrina.
Triggered.
Hashtag triggered. Was when Libby's own Val was like, oh, of course Libby must be working on something nefarious because no one cool would ever want to hang out with me. And Sabrina's just like, yes.
Well, yeah,
get
she's not very tactful. She doesn't understand how to approach
be a friend.
Difficult conversations with people. I'm like, when's Sabrina's birthday? Sometime September.
Is it?
Right, because she starts school. But
yeah.
Did she start school in mid-year?
No, she would have started school at the beginning of the year. I think I can probably look this up, but make your point.
Well, like, what astrological sign is she?
Oh, good point.
Maybe that's why she doesn't know how to tell people hard things. She just doesn't have that Libra energy.
Well, according to... I don't know which one this is. Because the photo is of Chilling Adventures, but this says September 27th, 1980.
That would make her a Libra. That doesn't sound right.
She can't decide between being mean to her friend and not being mean to her friend.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
Who knows? I think it's sometime in September, but I don't know. Yes. You still haven't made your point yet?
Okay. I was just saying. I explained what my point was.
Okay. The one last little note here I had was one of my favorite scenes from this whole episode is when Sabrina walks in on Salem eating macadamia nuts.
Delicious.
And his excellent line of, some squirrels broke in, I was just cleaning up.
Yeah.
Ah, macadamia nuts from the minibar. Especially tasty when they're your third jar and someone else is paying for them. Some squirrels broke in, I'm just tidying up. Back so soon?
Love, Nick Bakay.
One thing I did want to say that you mentioned earlier, I found it really, and just in general, like this isn't a plot point, but they were talking about the tree. Is it the tree of life? That the tree that has like animals carved into it. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck would you carve into a tree like that? Like,
I don't even know if it's a real tree.
It's a real tree.
Okay,
right? Because you watched that thing about it.
What do you mean?
You watched like some video on YouTube where people go there now. Right?
Oh, yes.
It's a real tree.
Why would you do it? To make it more of an attraction.
It's a living tree.
Meh.
You just carve.
Yeah. Disney has never taken advantage of living things to make money. A little sarcasm there. They're ruthless and will kill us all.
The mouse. He's coming for us.
That's right. That's why we clean our house, so that the mouse doesn't come in. Anyway.
Also, carp, and more carp.
That's right. Sabrina then returns to their room, telling Salem, who's paws deep in some macadamia nuts here, that she came back to apologize to Val, but upon seeing her potion missing, Salem tells her that Val took it, and she rushes out past a waiter delivering carp, and more carp to Salem. Sabrina is then seen yelling for Val, only to come across Mr. Kraft and her potion water bottle.
Valerie!
Lose something?
My my sports bottle. Where'd you find it?
He tells her that he found it. Thank you, Chris. Next to two zebras who just happened to walk by. And she asks if he saw which way they went before she runs off to find her four-legged friends. Sabrina then visits her Aunt Hilda to explain what happened. And after she gives Sabrina a story about Hilda and a marching band, turned them into garter snakes. What a weird kind of snake. She agrees to help Sabrina find a clamshell orchid for the second half of her potion, but can't find one in her purse.
Clamshell orchid. What's it shaped like?
It's always the last place you look. Hilda's new friend, however, Tootie, who you will talk about more in a minute, agrees to help them, and since he grew up around the area, they go on a walk to find the clamshell orchid, and eventually he points her in the direction of where he thinks one might be, as she is again, for like the seventh time, accosted by Mr. Kraft, but this time they get out of it by introducing Tootie as Hilda's new boyfriend from Sweden.
Who is this?
And Hilda's new boyfriend, Tootie. Goldberg.
He's Swedish.
Yeah, and he's dying to see the Lion King show. So we better go get seats.
They then head off to go get Lion King tickets. Great excuse.
Totally normal.
The circle of life continues. The circle from where Mr. Kraft catches Sabrina until he catches her again. Out of nowhere, Sabrina then finds the two zebras, just like, literally they just cut, and then Sabrina's walking up to the two zebras. She has a completed potion now, that was fast, and she sprinkles them with a bit of it, turning the two teens back into bipeds. Libby and Val try to explain where they were to Mr. Kraft, who writes the whole situation off as part of Val's obsessive-compulsive zebra disorder.
I think it might have something to do with a certain obsessive-compulsive disorder that one of you has with zebras.
Huh? I want you to know I was just trying to save her from herself. What?
And Libby quickly turns her back on Val to get out of it, and she just says that they were going to. She was just trying to help, and the last thing she remembers, they were going to take a safari ride, as she thought it would be a very educational ride. And then we get a bit more of this weird Libby Mr. Kraft creepiness, where he's like,
So fucking
"I'll
weird.
come with you, my lady."
Yeah.
Tips
Would you care to join me?
Tips his weird safari hat, and they
Did
leave.
she like take his arm? Like
I think so.
It's just fucking weird.
In my mind, they did.
It's
that.
fucking weird.
Before she went crazy, the last thing I remember was me saying I thought it would be educational if we rode the safari ride. But we never got there.
I'm on my way there right now. Would you care to join me?
I'd love to, Mr. Kraft.
No, like just no. Your principal should not be doing that.
Yes, especially on a field trip.
He should also not be harassing and following students.
Yeah. Also, he should be following some of the other students.
Well, he yelled at students for having fun.
He did. Stop the fun.
They were literally just playing with a stuffed animal on a bench.
They were. A lot of stuffed animals in this episode, too.
Yeah, you gotta promote the merch.
Oh, yeah. I got a complete list. Don't worry.
Yep.
Anyway, so Val then realizes that Libby sold her out, and her and Sabrina make amends. Val apologizing for not listening to Sabrina's advice, and Sabrina admitting that she was maybe a teensy bit jealous.
You're right. Libby doesn't like me. What tipped you off? I don't know. I just have this strong feeling she'd fight me over a salt lick. I don't know why. And I have to admit, I was a little jealous because you're being so friendly with Libby. You were? Wow! I've never made anyone jealous before.
They then head off to find Harvey. They wonder where Harvey is, and Hilda remembers where she sent him. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but Harvey took a little safari ride himself. As this whole episode, Nate Richard is just basically doing like 30-second cuts of him being a safari guide and making little jokes about, oh, yes, ma'am, the Impalas are not the mid-size sedan.
You're obsessed with Impalas.
Or the Falcons. He doesn't mention a Ford Falcon, which is a car.
He talks
uncle.
about the black rhino.
He does.
It's not waving at you.
It's true. You catch its turn-offs and turn-ons.
Yep.
The Ford Falcon is a car our uncle had for the longest time.
That's true. Yeah.
It was a blue Ford Falcon.
Does he still have it?
No, I think he got rid of it. Because now he has that Audi.
I don't know.
Anyway, audit. He now has an audit. They eventually find Harvey as he gets off that ride after Hilda zaps him. He explains where he was to Mr. Kraft, and that's the end of that.
Harvey Kinkle, do you know where you are? Mr. Kraft. Yes. I'm near a termite mound that antelopes use as a lookout post. Help me.
Sabrina then goes to get them some drinks, some frosty drinks, lemonades, I believe she goes to go get. And go figure, the lemonade man is a quizmaster who tells her that her next quiz is to spend a week alone in Antarctica. But don't worry, he's just fooling.
Now all you have to do is spend the night alone in Antarctica.
You're kidding.
As a matter of fact, I am. It's a week. Hell, man, I cracked myself up.
Can we talk about, once again, how the Spellmans fuck with Harvey's mind?
Sure.
It's just kind of really fucked up.
I mean, there is a point in this series where Harvey will get to a point that he can't take any more magic. They've used all the magic they can on him.
Yeah.
And this is why.
I mean, they're like, he literally says, help me, because he doesn't know what the fuck just
terrified.
happened. And they play it off like it's funny, but like literally that's disturbing.
He lost time. That's terrifying when you can't remember what happened.
Yeah. And or why you're wearing that outfit, or what you've been like, you lost a huge chunk of your day.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, they are really lucky that Libby doesn't trust her own eyes.
Ever.
Or they would have been caught by like episode 2.
Yeah.
Also, this continues the long lineage of Libby being turned into things on the series.
This is true.
Pineapple, goat, puzzle. So many things.
Why do I feel like
There's probably
was
more.
she turned into a pie?
A pie? No, she was turned into a pineapple.
Did someone turn into a pie?
No.
I don't know why I'm thinking of pie.
I don't know. Maybe one pie.
Maybe.
Holiday season. The other thing that occurred to me in watching this episode is there's never really stakes, you know? Like, oh no, Val and Libby are zebras.
I thought you meant like meat.
There's never really
There's
stakes. It's
no
all
never really
vegetable,
steak.
all veg. Val and Libby are zebras, but that doesn't mean anything. Because literally the next time you see the zebras, Sabrina's turning them back. It's not like they're like at the edge of a cliff going to fall off or anything. It's not like if they stay this way too long, they're going to be zebras forever. It's not even like she has trouble finding them. She just walks up to them. Like there's no stake. Chris agrees.
I agree. I think the problem is that it's such a short show format. And you have, with your A and B story, it's just too hard
and
to
you gotta fit all that
add
Disney
in all of that extra stuff. Like I think the concern is obviously like, well, they're animals and they can get, captured and put in with like real animals, and then she won't be able to figure out like which zebras are the right zebras, or because also the other thing I'm thinking is like, okay, she made the potion to turn them back, but technically she didn't turn herself into an animal and then turn herself back.
No, but they'll let
also, how the fuck would you do that?
Yeah, I was thinking about when I was reading it, I'm like, are you supposed to have them both there and just like lick one and then lick the other?
Like, how do you do that? Like, how is that actually going to be possible in any way?
Yeah.
In the scenario that you're prepping for.
Doomsday preppers, Sabrina.
Like,
you have to have them both made ahead of time.
And always on you.
Yep. Or I mean, even if you just have a broken finger and then you just make them both up. And it's like, I'll drink this one in case I need to be safe. How are you safer as an animal than as a human being with magic?
If you're in the jungle.
How is that safer?
It's safer for you to survive as an animal.
Really? You think zebras do better off than humans?
Or what if like someone is hunting you and like
that's true. That person trying to kill a human would never kill a gazelle.
Well, they wouldn't know that it was you. So they would just be like, well, I don't know why this house cat is here, but okay. No one said it had to be a gazelle or a zebra.
I don't know why this blue whale is here in the middle of the forest.
Also, I understand that, like, okay, it's Animal Kingdom. There's a, like, African theme for a lot of the park.
Mm-hmm. They mentioned Harambe, Africa.
Yeah.
And grossly mentioned deepest, darkest Africa.
Then we should go to Harambe, Africa. It's in the deepest, darkest part of the continent, right next to the gift shop.
I was really... confused. Gross. And like, what?
Yeah. That feels like something that would have been written in the 30s.
Like, it was really fucking weird. And then what I was trying to get to was like, maybe that's why they turned into zebra, because it's like, well, what is the habitat? Like, you turn into whatever animal is like
maybe
natural to that habitat, but you're in fucking Florida. Like, I'm sorry, like some grass from like the Great Plains or whatever isn't gonna.
So if you were to take it in Central Park, you would turn into a Karen,
a duck.
I
get that you were trying to make a joke, but
a pigeon.
There's not really all that many Karens at Central Park.
There's that one famous one.
Well, yeah, that one famous one.
There's more than you think.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty.
There's plenty of them. They just have to be activated by the slightest thing happening.
The slightest inconvenience. Or not even anything that is actually an inconvenience to them.
Fair enough. Maybe their habitat is like an Applebee's customer service stand.
Any sign of joy from anyone else.
That's right. Any feeling that they're being slightly, like they're losing out on something slightly. And they strike. Yeah,
it just made me curious why they would have turned into zebras. Because when they were initially talking about this and like the usage, I was like, oh, okay, you'll turn it. Like, I don't know why I was like leopard in my head. I just see her turning into a cat, probably because she has turned into a cat in the past.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Yes.
But then they turned into zebras, and I was like, well, and why did they both turn into zebras?
Because she splashed it on her, and that's enough. That's good enough.
Why would they turn into the same animal? How does the potion determine which animal you turn into? Is there something in it that determines it? Or is it, like I said, like the magic basically chooses an animal that is natural to that habitat?
Libby should have turned into a zebra with overalls on.
Like, they could have turned into like a hissing cockroach.
Would have been good.
Like, but they turn into a
Or
zebra,
a bird and
which is
flown
like
away.
stands out.
Yeah. Oh, look. An elephant. What's that doing here?
Like, what if Sabrina was in like a situation where she, you know, is like in the middle of the desert and she turns into like
a seal.
Yeah, like, or a penguin. Like, how does it determine? I want to understand this.
That's great. The guy hunting her is like, I don't know where Sabrina is, but this bird's really out of place. I better shoot this thing.
This really weird flamingo.
I'm going to do a mercy kill because this bird's going to be dead pretty soon anyway.
So,
I know the other issue I had was that, like, at the end, Val is supposed to learn that Libby is, like, out for herself, but when Libby uses Val's obsession with zebras to get out of being in trouble. The problem there is Sabrina did the same thing by making up the obsession with zebras to get out of being in trouble with Mr. Kraft.
Oh, no, you didn't happen to notice which way those zebras went, did you?
No. Why?
Oh, because I'm looking for Valerie, and I happen to know she's a real zebra fanatic. It's a real problem. There are no support groups. Gotta go.
Like, at worst, she just has two bad friends. Libby and Sabrina.
well, I think the difference is that Sabrina made it up because she needed to get away so that she could go and save them and turn them back into humans.
Because of her own mistakes.
Right, per usual. Whereas Libby did it for, like, she doesn't know what happened. So
right. She's covering her own ass.
Yeah, but, like, she has no idea what happened. So she's just literally fabricating a situation to not have to answer those questions. Which, like, what's happening? She needs some therapy.
She needs a lot of therapy.
Because, like, again.
Don't you remember an episode we saw her brother, her stepbrother or something, who's also an asshole?
Yeah.
Gavin or whatever his name was.
I don't remember, but.
I'm thinking of the kid from The Simpsons.
Gavin, don't you already have this game?
No, Mom, you idiot. I have Bloodstorm and Bone Squad and Bloodstorm 2, stupid.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. We'll take a Bone Storm.
Well, get two. I'm not sharing with Caitlin.
But yeah, basically, magic is fucking with all of these teenage minds, and they're probably all going to be drug addicts.
That's right. Harvey's living on the streets.
I mean, Harvey, like, has, like, a serious break. Like, he
goes away for a season.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? Nobody wants Josh. Bring Harvey back.
Discount Harvey.
That's right. Anyway, Chris, the aunties are also in this episode. You might have forgotten. They're also involved in the Disney World storyline, albeit slightly differently, as they are chaperones. The worst chaperones, as they're never around the kids.
Literally, never.
Not until the very end. This begins with them talking about how exciting Animal Kingdom will be, but for very different reasons.
I love Splash Mountain more than life itself. What's your favorite part?
There's a paleontological dig at the new Animal Kingdom theme park, and it just sounds fascinating.
Only you could make the happiest place on Earth sound dry and clinical.
I like bones.
Zelda and her boring bone interests kick off right away once they get to the hotel. As Hilda tries to get Zelda to commit to quickly going to the whole archaeological area and then riding all the rides, Zelda shuts that shit down right away, saying that's not the plan and you know it, dummy.
So we'll spend 15 minutes digging for bones at the dinosaur place, and then the rest of the day on the rides, right?
That's not the plan, and you know it.
Well, it should be.
When they do make it to the archaeological area, Hilda just comments on how dull Zelda is. Accurate. Though eventually, after Hilda returns to Zelda with a pile of Disney merch, she must have spent like $600.
More.
This includes a gift for Zelda that is slightly mislabeled.
Hey, want Want to see the personalized souvenir mug I got you? They didn't have Zelda, so I got Pam.
Zelda finds a bone, and despite Hilda thinking that it's fake, like everything here at Disney,
because there's literally giant fake bones next
there's like
to
a
it.
gigantic like mastodon rib cage next to you. I went to one of my Power Rangers dinosaurs. Zelda actually believes
Saber-tooth tiger.
That's right. Despite having a Kimberly, damn it.
Mastodon! Pterodactyl! Triceratops! Saber-tooth tiger!
Tyrannosaurus!
Zelda actually believes that it's a real fossil of something that used to live there, but she goes slightly further, Zelda does. Can never calm the fuck down. She wants to find out more about the bone, so she zaps it, and the bone starts telling them about itself, literally by, like, barking and jumping. Luckily for Zelda, Hilda is quite the bone translator. That's right.
She's got a lot of experience with boning.
Talking to... Good. Well done. Went for the easy joke, but it'll still get over.
It's fine.
Hey, it talks.
Oh, my prehistoric's a little rusty. Can you make out what it's saying?
I think it means bone cold. Well, now we know the phrase duh dates back to prehistoric times.
When later Zelda wants even more info about the bone, she zaps it again, this time bringing it back into its original form, that being a caveman, who starts to grunt and wave. In turn, somehow attracting a crowd of the whitest people you've ever seen.
Floridians.
Yes. So the aunties leave, and once they're in their hotel room with the caveman, things get sexy. No, they don't.
Easy. I'm upset that the hotel doesn't provide robes too, but you don't see me tearing the room apart.
The caveman thoroughly trashes the entire room. They figure out that he's probably hungry, and while Zelda begins to consider possibilities on what to feed him, Hilda has a much simpler plan. Just give him a nut, see if he holds it down.
I mean...
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't, Chris.
Yeah.
Hilda is then left alone with the caveman. Zelda's just like, I'm out. I'm going to go look at some soil to see what he eats. And again, Zelda doesn't come back until the very end.
Keep an eye on him. Are you kidding? A looker like that?
Honestly, Zelda kind of pulled a Sabrina this episode.
She's out.
She, like, first off, like...
She bounced?
She just decided, like, I'm going to make this trip what I want it to be. I'm supposed to be acting as a chaperone,
right.
But nah, I'm just gonna, like, go and do what I want to do. Also, not going to let my sister do what she wants to do, but I'm going to convince her to do what I want to do. Then I'm going to erratically try to, you know, make this bone speak and come to life because I'm so invested in learning more about this and not really considering what the possible outcomes are.
She
what the
has so
ramifications
little.
are. Like, I mean, I don't want to say it's out of character because although she's usually the straight shooting aunt who
Yep.
like is very logical, when she does get very invested into like a project, like she just like fucking loses it and like has no common sense. And so I guess like I can see that, but also like what the fuck, like you just left her with him
Yep.
to handle it while she was supposed to be enjoying her trip too. And also you both came here as chaperones and you're not helping Sabrina, you're not helping any of the students. You literally like, you know, sent one of the students off and forgot about him.
I want to see all of the kids who, without chaperones, killed themselves. Just like fell off of something and like broke their legs.
And like, who else is a chaperone on this trip?
Mr. Kraft.
Who's also just following Sabrina. So it's basically just like a whole senior class full of like supervised teenagers.
Don't worry, Mrs. Bazigian is in the corner over there. You can't see her. Telling kids about Richard Nixon some more. So Tootie and Hilda eventually help Sabrina, as I said, with her project. This includes them running into Mr. Kraft and Hilda using the cover that Tootie is her new boyfriend from Sweden. I didn't mean that to make it sound like I was doing a Swedish accent, but apparently
you totally did.
I swear I didn't.
It was the Simpsons Sweden.
Was it?
Yeah, isn't there like a Swedish person on the Simpsons?
I don't know. Are you thinking of Swedish Chef? from...
I'm thinking of the kid who loves chocolate.
Oh, Uter. He's just like Bavarian.
I feel like someone was from Sweden and
Maybe.
they did that on
They have
some
been
show.
running for like 3 decades.
God damn it. It's gonna kill me.
These Swedish furniture designers sure have some far-out ideas. I mean, a green table. I wouldn't have thought of that in my wildest dreams.
Yes, I will have the Plopenlugen, and don't skimp on the Doodlemunch.
After Sabrina rescues Libby and Val, the Tootie storyline pretty much wraps up with Hilda explaining that they taught him some English and got him a job at the park. And when we then see Tootie, he's helping Mr. Kraft with his drink order, although not being that much help.
Hi, large fruit punch, please. Ice? Yeah, sure. No ice. Do I know you? Ice?
And actually, as the credits roll, Mr. Kraft and Tootie, fast friends here apparently, just have a chat with each other while it's raining, just like Martin Mull clearly just doing some improv. Like, my favorite line here is when he mentions the work of Edvard Munch, Chris. Your favorite painter.
Totally.
You love the Scream. You love it so much.
I have a good dentist we could maybe send you to. Yeah, well, there would be some gum surgery, no question. I've always liked the paintings of Edvard Munch, who's Swedish.
But that pretty much wraps up the Auntie's storyline. Chris, it might interest you to note that Edvard Munch was in fact Norwegian and not Swedish.
Wow.
Racism. Alive and well in Westbridge.
Just like, no one needs to really do any research.
I do think
Martin Mull. Why wouldn't you check it before putting it in the episode?
Martin Mull is very funny as he's doing like this banter with a caveman, essentially. I love the line where he's like, have you noticed that Hilda is kind of weird? And then like Tootie grunts and he's like, yeah. I mean, more so than just a typical
normal
one. Martin Mull, what a great, God bless him. Still active today. God bless him. Chris, did you like how, despite being a 2 million-year-old caveman, Tootie, in fact, has a sweet pair of like outdoor sandals?
She's rocking like Tevas.
Right. He swung by the Foot Locker on the way back from the hotel.
Yeah, because he can't just be barefoot. This is Disney.
Yes.
There's standards. Hilda
gets Zelda a mug with Pam on it because they didn't have Zelda.
Yeah, that was funny.
They must have also been out of Bort license plates.
Mommy, buy me a license plate.
No, come along, Bort.
Are you talking to me?
No, my son is also named Bort.
It also did remind me of that time that I got you a Mafalda pen.
Yeah.
Because you hate that name.
Yeah.
And I was in Portugal and they have it. And I'm like, this will be a great gag for Chris. And it was worth the €2 of this crappy little pen.
It was a name I never heard as a kid.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of those.
And then like when I started taking Portuguese, I took one Portuguese class. And when I took it, it like was always in like examples of things, the name, and I was like, what the fuck name is this? Because it really sounds like fralda, which is like diaper.
Mm-hmm.
And
sounds like my diaper.
Yeah.
Mafalda.
And so I always thought it was a really weird sounding name. No offense to anyone who has it. All the Mafaldas are going to come for me.
Y'all listening?
They're going to come for me. And yeah, so Al got me a pen that says Mafalda because of my love of the name.
I could have gotten her a Christina pen, but this is way funnier.
Because they actually have my name, but you know, what's the joy in that? Al, who never has, and no one ever has his name.
No.
I mean, Alex is like...
Yeah, but my name is not a name. I did love at the beginning where it's like, oh, where's Salem? Oh, he's probably upstairs watching Regis.
He's literally sticking out of the fucking bag you're carrying.
There's no way you didn't see that big black cat head hanging out the back.
Like, literally, like, giggling. Like...
That, and also, like, the weight of that bag would have been totally off. And the second that she picked up that bag, the cat would have freaked the fuck out.
Also, you were going to put it in the car, like...
Yep. The car and then a plane ride.
Like, there's no way that no one would have realized that the cat was there.
My favorite Zelda line in this episode was when she finds a bone and, like, Hilda goes to, like, walk away to go to the gift shop. She's like, are you going to alert the media? Just like... Oh, Zelda. Never change.
I love it.
This kind of discovery could put me in the history books. Are you going to alert the media?
No, I'm going to get bug spray.
Should we talk about Salem for a sec?
Sure.
This whole episode is just basically Salem eating a bunch of food.
Yeah.
Because he does stow away, and the aunties don't want him to go into the park. There is one very important scene we should talk about, where seriously, how they didn't get shut down by PETA, I don't know. They literally released a live black cat into like an enclosure where there's a live flamingo, and these two things walk within like 3 inches of each other, and the cat hisses at the flamingo
and then runs off.
So, one, how did you not cause like one of these animals some like how that flamingo didn't get like scratched the fuck by that cat? I don't know.
Or I feel like flamingos can be violent.
I'm sure.
Like I don't know how it didn't hurt the cat.
I guess, but like, and two, I do love how this is definitely something that they did first and then had Nick Bakay record audio too.
Yeah,
because it's like you cannot plan this.
Yeah.
What an insane idea. Oh my god. Just gonna have some pit fighting animals. That'll be cool.
It's just I don't know. It's cringe when you think about the actual animals put in that situation.
Yeah, it's fucked. I did say, however, Chris, that the contest involved Salem, and in fact, it involved at least partially writing down what Salem ate during this episode.
Okay.
I hope you're remembering to write down something Salem eats during the show.
I don't know if I like all this attention.
Write it down with your name and address on a 3x5 postcard and mail it to the address on your screen or enter at our TGIF website at abc.com.
It could win you and your family a first-class VIP trip to Disney's Animal Kingdom.
All of America is watching me eat.
Good luck.
Can you tell me what Salem ate during this episode? And if so, we'll fly you first class to Disney's Animal Kingdom. It'll cost $45 during COVID.
He ate macadamia nuts.
He did eat macadamia nuts, yes.
Macadamia nuts from the minibar.
He ate carp.
Carp and more carp, yes.
Someone order carp, and more carp.
I like when they cut back to him and like there's that thing, there's a shot of him with all the plates. There's like a half-eaten carp on one of the pillows.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
It's hard to tell from like all of the plates because the plates didn't.
I'm going with what was mentioned in the dialogue.
You said chocolate, so
I
don't think he had chocolate.
No. Quizmaster was selling chocolate at the beginning to raise money for the janitor's hip replacement. He had 14 shrimp cocktails.
14 shrimp cocktails?
He did have shrimp cocktails, yes.
And an entire shepherd's pie.
An entire shepherd's pie.
Yes, he said that.
He also does mention fried park food at one point.
Fried park food, here I come.
So I don't know if he ate it.
Well, he said he wanted to go get some, and then he encountered the flamingo.
Yes, that's when he's talking about the frozen banana stand.
Right.
I hope this is the way to the frozen banana stand.
Because he knows that there's money in it.
All the food he mentioned?
I just wrote down everything he mentioned, but the stuff he ate, definitely macadamia nuts. Overpriced chocolate bar, he did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm going to put down an overpriced chocolate bar just to yell at Valerie. Get real.
Which we can only assume is a...
charity bar.
Is that what?
Charity bar.
Yeah. That shit was overpriced. It's like $3.
Yeah, it was probably from the mini bar.
Which makes me think it's a... what are the
Toblerone.
Yes, those are the ones Joey loves.
Yeah.
Carp, and more carp. I also figured that part of the reason there were all of those stuffed animals was that maybe that was part of it also, like write down all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't seen that commercial, but it seemed like it would have been. I noted those also. Did you note those, Chris?
Did I note
all the Disney animals, stuffed animals that were around? There's a lot of them.
Pumbaa.
There was Pumbaa.
Are we just talking about stuffed animals?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see live? Did you see?
No, because like
one of the park people.
Like there was Mickey.
Right.
Like she had a Mickey shirt.
She also had
and the hat.
She had that bag that was like a bunch of Mickeys.
It was the bag.
Bunch of Mickeys sounds like a strip club.
I remembered seeing the Pumbaa on the bed.
Mm-hmm. There were 2 Timones.
Okay.
There's a Timon in the bedroom, and then when Mr. Kraft is yelling at the kids,
girl, that's what she has.
She also has a Rafiki.
Okay, so they're just clearly
while it's the Lion King. They're also pushing the Lion King show, Chris.
Right.
And there was oddly just a beast. There was a beast in the bedroom. I'm not talking about Hilda.
Hey.
And there's also a Tigger.
Okay.
On the bed. A lot of stuff. It kind of felt like they were just like, here's a $400 gift card. Go buy some things.
Just hit up the Disney store and get some stuff.
It really should have done. And of course, Hilda had the really cool hat that was like a safari hat with the ears. I love that. And like, I will say, Hilda is dressed like every park goer, like big luminous green shirt, too big on her.
Yeah. Well, because I think the point of that outfit is to make it clear that like she just bought her outfit at the park and she's like one of those like super enthused tourists who like needs to get all the swag and like wants to wear it right away, which is a lot of people who go to Disney.
Oh yeah, the people collect those fucking ear things.
Yep.
Chris, that is pretty much the episode, and of course it's now time for the end of episode ceremonies. First and foremost, TGIF scale, this good I feel scale, the scale on which we rate every episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. 1 to 5 scale. Each scale level has a corresponding TGIF show. I will tell you that for me, this lands as a distinctly low teen angel. That is a distinctly low 2 out of 5. There is not a lot going on here. The storyline is okay, but even Sabrina isn't doing much. There's never really stakes. It's not like a horrible episode, but it's like even less than just like an average episode.
I would say it's like a 3.
Okay.
And I would say
Family Matters?
I say that because
Hanging with Mr. Cooper, excuse me.
Because of the memorability. Because it is
like, you
like
say memorabilia.
Yeah, I mean that's good too. Because it is like it's one of the episodes that I like actually remember watching, which is the case for a good deal of them. But like, I think because it's on set, like on scene, like in Florida, and like it's honestly, I also really enjoyed the Harvey stuff. Like, even though it's like a weird.
Yeah. What was your favorite Harvey line, Chris? Was it Tiffany?
Yeah, it was Tiffany the Rhino.
The black rhino you see on your left is named Tiffany. Tiffany's turn-ons include volleyball and Judith Kran's novels. Her turn-offs are war and people who smoke.
Myself as well.
I heard that rhino horn is a aphrodisiac.
Yeah, which is really sad,
don't
actually.
Don't kill the rhinos.
Please don't.
Buy them Judith Kran's novels. They like it.
Yeah, they'll just give you the horn after.
Boy, will they ever.
The horn. Yeah, so I mean, I think personally it's probably more of a 2.5, but because of like it just is very memorable. Not that necessarily the storyline is good. I'd give it a 3.
Back of the linen closet here, Chris. Of course, that's where we honor each episode's biggest fashion flop. The thing that comes most directly to mind is that dress that Hilda was wearing. That big like hippie flower dress, with like a purple shirt underneath. I don't like it. I think it's pretty damn bad. It does fit her well, but that doesn't excuse a really ugly pattern.
I think it's a look, so I don't mind that as much.
But is it a good look?
I think that
is it that shirt that Tootie's in at the end?
I don't know.
The problem is these are like outfit shirts. These are like gimmick shirts. You know, that's because he's part of the place, part of Disney.
There's a guy in one of the scenes at the school in the beginning. I think when they're playing hacky sack.
Yes, the very beginning.
In the background, who's watching everything happening, and he has like it looks like a Kangol visor.
Yeah,
and like a sports jacket, which I'm sure is like super on trend then, but it was just like a little cringe. It stands out in my mind, even though.
Are you inducting that man in the background?
I don't know, because he's not even really a person.
I'll allow it. I do love Zelda's Jurassic Park look. Look at that.
There are some outfits that I think, so I would rather talk about like the really good outfits.
Shoot.
So that is one of mine. I would legit wear that outfit. Like when she was wearing it in the house, I was like, I would wear this outfit today with the little neck scarf and the white shirt, and those shorts are super cute. Would literally wear that.
And a bone. It should be your Halloween outfit next year.
I don't have the blonde hair. I'd have to get a wig.
I'm Jurassic Park Zelda. Is it Mr. Kraft's jacket?
That's a dad jacket if I've ever seen one.
I kind of love this look.
He's got a serious dad look happening. I really liked Sabrina's outfit from the very beginning where she looks like a creamsicle.
The orange, yes. Do you like this dress that Libby's friend is wearing? Because I kind of like it.
It's just a tennis dress.
I like the stripe on the side.
It's cute.
Yeah.
I think I had a top like that. That's why I'm saying, like, Valerie's outfit, that Sporty Spice outfit, was like very popular. I have a picture of myself wearing, it was the day of my 6th grade graduation. It was after the graduation.
Mm-hmm.
So like I took off like my fancy dress and I'm wearing like jean shorts and like a tank top like hers with like the stripes on the side.
And you feel like the coolest girl
And I
in the world.
Also like Valerie, I have like a fancy updo that is way too fancy for the outfit I'm wearing because I had it for my dress.
This, yes. And you're like, where's my Teen Vogue photographer? Let's
Where's
go.
Libby? Let's be
Let's go on the Dragon Rocks ride or whatever the fuck they said. Is it this turtleneck by Tootie? Tootie's turtleneck?
I mean, I don't think that's even that awful. What is Hilda wearing in that?
She's wearing her park shirt, her Disney shirt.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's my problem with this episode. There's nothing that is so heinous that I feel like it has to go in the back of the linen closet.
Is it Quizmaster's opening shirt?
I actually really like that
I
shirt.
kind of did too. I like it. It reminds me of like a commercial for like Arizona iced tea.
A little bit, but I feel like that shirt, like hipsters would be wearing that
absolutely.
shirt right now.
That's true of most of Quizmaster's outfits.
This is true.
Well, there's Sabrina.
I love that outfit. It's like a velvet sleeveless peasant top where it's like gathered at the top.
Nice nude heels.
And she has her little swishy coral skirt.
All right, Chris. So we'll give it to that guy in the background once we find him and award him this trophy. And the last thing we do here is, of course, Salem Says, where we honor the favorite Salem wine of the episode. Mine, of course, was that macadamia nuts crack.
Yeah, I think mine was carp, and more carp. He didn't even say it.
It just goes, yo.
It's like, who ordered it?
Room service. Someone order carp, and more carp.
Yo.
He's great.
Yes.
Guy, always great. Well, Chris, that's the episode. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Of course.
Hope you stop by real soon. I know you want to stop by next episode because one of your favorites will be sashaying all day into Sabrina's war. Of course, who am I thinking of, Chris? I totally blanked on RuPaul. Long before Drag Race appears on Sabrina Teenage Witch in quite the significant role, actually. Actually plays 2 characters. Get ready for that. Also, it's a very interesting episode because Sabrina has to decide between her aunts. It's Sabrina's choice. That will be the episode next time. But until then, Chris, of course, people can always follow you over at chrisconkers.com.
Yes, they
I'm
can.
sure there'll be a lot of holiday posts coming up. Manifestation Mondays holiday edition.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Don't kill your family.
Be the jolliness you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
There it is. But until then, until we get that post from Chris Conkers, follow her there and on Twitter at Chris Conkers.
I'm trying to get Al to do a gift guide.
I don't even know what that would be, Chris.
I don't know. Sabrina the Teenage Witch gift guide.
We should do a
for all the Sabrina fans in your life.
We should do a Thanksgiving.
Trust me, there's a lot of things I have saved on Etsy that would be applicable.
We should do a Thanksgiving challenge to the Quizmaster. I've got a quiz all lined up.
Is it pie?
No, but it could be pie if you like it to be pie.
Is it like Thanksgiving meal?
It's Thanksgiving Day balloon.
Oh, that's less fun.
I disagree, but we can do it. we can do the one I want. That's fine. But thank you, Chris. Chris, until next time, I want to say thank you for stopping by. I want to say thank you for the listener thank you for the listener for stopping by as well. And we will see you, dear listener, in the other realm.
Sabrina, still looking for the ice machine?
Nope. Found it. Delicious.
Far be it from me to question the Walt Disney Corporation, but that does not seem convenient.